શરૂ કરો.
નમો વિતરાગાય,
નમો વિતરાગાય,
નમો અરિહંતાણમ,
નમો અરિહંતાણમ,
નમો સિદ્ધાણમ,
નમો સિદ્ધાણમ,
નમો આયરિયાણમ,
નમો આયરિયાણમ,
નમો વજ્જાયાણમ,
નમો વજ્જાયાણમ,
નમો લોય સવ સાહુણમ,
નમો લોયે સર્વ સાહુણમ,
એસો પંચન મુક્કારો,
એસો પંચન મુક્કારો,
સૌ પાવપણાસણો,
સવ પાવપણાસણો,
મંગલાણમ ચ સૌવેસિમ,
મંગલાણમ ચ સૌવેસિમ,
અડમમ હવૈ મંગલમ.
પડમમ હવૈ મંગલમ.
ઓમ નમો ભગવતે વાસુદેવાય.
ઓમ નમો ભગવતે વાસુદેવાય.
ઓમ નમઃ શિવાય.
ઓમ નમઃ શિવાય.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
Jai Satchidanand. Everybody,
જય
welcome
સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
English version of Akram Vignan, Vitrag Science, Holistic Science of Dada Bhagwan. Okay, we already have a question, Tachabai.
Yes, Jai Satchidanand everyone. Ranjit Jai Satchidanand. Deepakananji Jai Satchidanand.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
I have sent in WhatsApp one photo, 2-3 photos. Please, can you please take it out? It says અમારી આજ્ઞામાં રહો તો યોગ ક્ષેમ લેવા તૈયાર છે ને આજ્ઞામાં ના રહો તો કઈ લેવા દેવા નહીં.
Okay, moment. Fine. Okay, so here Dada says, if you remain in my obedience, then I'll take care of all your worldly needs. But if you don't remain in my obedience, then you are on your way. He is free.
Kanji, what is the meaning of Yog Shem?
Yokshe means on the worldly side, you are taken care. All your worldly needs are taken care.
It's a relative or worldly need?
Relative. It is on the worldly side, but that surety he has given. So here we have to understand the importance of remaining in his obedience. It's very important in his agnas, in his precepts.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Can I ask one more? Yes.
Yeah, but this is what, because if you analyze the Agna, then it doesn't allow you to cross any boundaries of non-violence.
Deepakanji, what is Agna?
Agna is to remain in his, that's what it means, remain in his obedience. You follow him, whatever he has said.
Okay.
remain, be obedient to him.
Now, how
Normally
does the
express-
science work that, if we are obedience to him, then our relative or the worldly things will take care of?
That's what I was about to say. When you follow his instructions, his precepts, or follow his tenets, then what happened? His tenets, what are his tenets? He has said that these 5 sentences are most fundamental ones, which explains and at the same time takes care of your perfect health, physical, mental, psychological, and spiritual also. And it is not just simple sentences. They are such profound ones with very, very deep meaning. It helps us.
Can you briefly explain those 5 for the audience?
Yeah. So as you said, first two are giving demarcation between that which is permanent and that which is temporary. Our body self is temporary and our soul self is permanent. So with these 2 viewpoints, the first one is world view and the second one is spiritual view. So spiritually, everyone is soul, pure soul. And worldview wise, it has been identified that relative viewpoint. He has given these 2 viewpoints. So he's very nicely, he has uttered this phrase, the world is the puzzle itself. And there are 2 viewpoints to solve this puzzle. One relative, other real. So primarily, only these 2 tenets, or these 2 precepts, or the first 2, they take care of everything. But because of our limited intelligence and understanding, we are unable to understand the depth of these sentences, these phrases. So he had to elaborate them, and he gave the other 3, which further explains the first 2. In the sense, in fact, you can say that the first is relatives viewpoint. You are name bearer, body self, identity. By real viewpoint, you are spiritual being, pure soul. You identify, you understand that you are soul, self, and not the body self. So the soul is permanent and body is temporary. Further elaborating on the body self side, that everything, whatever today's world we see around full of activities, is the whole world activity is operated by natural power of, cosmic power of what he has coined the name as Vyavasthit Shakti. Vyavasthit means perfect, orderly way. So the nature is working in a perfect, orderly way. Why it is said? Because it doesn't work of its own. It is not doing of its own, but whatever was previously projected and caused in the form of projected doership, that goes into the nature And then when the results come, the nature operates based on those projections. That is why it is said the present life is effect only. But while living in this effect, we don't know the science behind the happening of this world. And we can say our world, our body self, activity in interaction with the world and worldly people. So we find things at fault. At times we are happy with it, at times we are not happy with it. But then the outcome of these two extremities is we end up getting driven away by our likes and dislikes and end up in fresh or new projection, doership projection. And based on those doership projections, which are very wild in the sense there is no limit, like the sky is the limit. Because you are driven by your own ignorance, and because of that ignorance, not knowing the science behind happening, you end up projecting for your own self, and you conceive yourself in a causal way into the nature. And then when the result is given by the nature, it is perfect in an orderly way. So not knowing this projection doership continues, and birth, death cycle, or we can say death and birth cycle, they keep going on and on and on. And when one gets the understanding, the wisdom of right knowledge, that who truly the creator is, although God is identified by worldly religion, it is identified as God is doing. That's why it is said G-O-D. What does G-O-D means? One who generates, one who operates, and one who destroys. That's G-O-D, God. But one who has reached that highest level of perception, like the Absolute One, Tirthankaras, and fully enlightened soul called Gnani Purush, they have revealed this fact. Not that what the world believes and identifies God as creator, operator, and destroyer is wrong. No. But one who doesn't know this science, then for him to accept God as creator, God as operator, and God as destroyer is right, and he must believe in that understanding. Otherwise, he will take the reins of nature in his hands and can or does end up in wild projections, which ends up in pain and suffering only. So the third one says the world is operated by the universal cosmic power of what he has coined the name as Vyavasthit Shakti. That keeps everything in an orderly way. The fourth one says all these people with whom we interact in the world, whom we say as relations, not just your blood relations, but whomsoever we interact with. He has nicely explained this by saying that whoever our eyes exchange, we see eye to eye, come across eye to eye, that is relation. Without this eye to eye contact, there is no relation. So even in your office, wherever you're working, you're studying, you are living in the community, that area, that city, that locality, if the population is like 1,000, let's say, very small count, you will never come across all those 1,000 people in the sense there won't be eye-to-eye contact with all those 1,000 people. But yes, of course, you will come across a few, and with them you have a relation. And it is through these interaction and through these relations only you come across happiness and unhappiness in your life. They give happiness, they give unhappiness, you give happiness, you give unhappiness. So this is how this exchange takes place. So like today's world population are almost touching 8 billion. So it is said you have no connection with these 8 billion people, not to worry at all. But just for a few thousands, we can say, because other people whom we interact is so brief, hardly any time, maybe a few hours, maybe a few minutes. And some people you spend a lot of time, and family people you spend like every day, like 15 to 18 hours a day. So this is where your relations are very strong and very sensitive also, because you keep interacting with each other daily basis. 15 to 18 hours is a big time. And with these relations, we have not handled them amicably, in the sense, because of the previous projected doership, which could be positive, which could be negative, in the sense which could be, you might have given projected happiness to give happiness, or you could have projected to give unhappiness. That is, you have decided to hurt someone. I'm not going to leave that person. I will do this, I will do that, etc. So with that doership projection, what happens is now you get those inspirations. And the inspiration is not given by God, but in the presence of the pure soul God within us, we get inspiration from this natural power of, cosmic power of Vyavasthit Shakti. And depending upon that, you will end up doing things in accordance with other circumstantial evidences that you come across, and you end up giving happiness, or you end up giving unhappiness to others. In the same way, you will also get happiness or unhappiness. And there are after effects of that happening also. In the sense, if I do good out of my previous positive projection, then I will be doing good because of the positive projection. And the result of that, after effect of that good doing or good deed, I get further positive responses from the world. On the other hand, if I do anything negative, I hurt others, then on its after effects, because I hurt others, I end up getting further negativities in my life. That happening cannot be changed because it is like a chain reaction. But while it is happening, you have the choice to change your projection. That is where the wisdom of right understanding lies. So if you come across bad happening, unhappiness, pain and suffering, then definitely there's something wrong was done previously. So you can correct yourself and decide not to do such wrong anytime in future. At the same time, if you end up hurting others, then you can correct yourself also. In the same way, by correcting, feeling sorry for what wrong you did, and at the same time, resolving not to commit them again, not to repeat them again. So this way, you are projecting positivity into the nature, and that's how you end up building positive deeds, which will give you happiness. And when such positive deeds accumulate, you come across wise person, self-realized person, and that's how you get the wisdom of right knowledge. And with that knowledge, right knowledge, right spiritual knowledge, you get liberated. So, and the last one deals with saying that what is the purpose of your life? The purpose of your life is you earn credit in the God's account. That is pure soul account. How you can earn credit in the pure soul account is very nicely given when you spend all your free time, because your occupied time with your relations as part of your karmic effects, you live with the, you live in obedience with the master, the spiritual master, then you are protected. And in all your free time, you further study and try to understand and follow instruction, that is, again, remain obedient to the master. That's how you earn credit in the spiritual account, pure soul account. So, and yes, if you spend time in entertainment, it doesn't say don't spend time in entertainment, but have some reasonable time for your spiritual accomplishment and spiritual earning by doing and direct as per the directions of your master. So that's how both the things get balanced. It doesn't say don't have entertainment, but it's like 20%, 25% entertainment, 75%, because human life is for spiritual accomplishment. Everywhere in the world nowadays, things are very, the people are talking about, we are spiritual beings. We are not just bunch of mind, speech, and body. And it's our goal of life is not to just live, enjoy, and die. We are spiritual being. Understand our spiritual state, our pure soul, godly state, divine state. And once you know, understand, and live as per these knowledge and wisdom of knowledge, then you will earn such deeds, you will earn such positive karmas with which you, with that understanding and wisdom of knowledge, you will balance all the karmas and get freed and emerge as pure soul, get liberated. What they talk of or they say about salvation.
Deepakananji, very good. Let me sum up this a little bit, what I heard. So you're saying we get inspirations, bad or good, which are happening. And then from there, we have a choice and to correct and resolve. So that is how, we can build up good karmas and good life for the future. Am I right in this?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Kashyap, are you done?
Yeah, can I ask one more, please, if it is not?
Okay.
Yeah. The next it says, aham no vando nathi, ahankar no vando che, aham ahankar nathi.
What it means, aham means I am. And ahamkar is I am Dr. Kashyap. So aham, as I am a spiritual being, is right. There is no problem, because you exist as a spiritual being, what you are.
Okay.
But to claim as your body self as I am is called ahankar, because that's not who you are.
Okay.
And it's very nicely given ahankar nati. I am, that is, ego is no problem, but egoism is a problem.
So here aham plus kar, there is a kriya in the if I notice like that. Is it
Come
correct?
again? What is it?
In ahankar, it is aham plus kar, means there is some kriya going on with the
Not this kriya, your connectivity.
Connectivity.
Right.
Means
False. Your wrong connectivity is where it is obstructive. It is
wrong projection.
Correct.
Projection. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. got it. Okay, thank you very much. Yes,
Okay,
Satchidanand.
thank you.
Satchidanand.
Meet and Sheetal, if you have your questions. Okay, Deepakananji, I have a question then. Okay.
Okay, please.
Previously, we have been talking about what do we call 9 columns, but in other words, we call 9 code of conduct. And
Yeah.
we dwell on the first one quite a bit. So can we take up the second one?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute.
First thing,
Hold on a minute. Can you see the, oh. Okay, I have first and second one on. Can you see that?
yeah. So are we going with the second one?
Yeah, because I think unless you have something to add to first one, because you've been doing a lot of Pratikam
Yeah,
and
okay, so we can
Samayiks.
say, right, what we want to say that, O Supreme Self, O Lord, may you bless me with such an infinite inner strength as would restrain me from hurting, causing someone to hurt, or supporting someone hurting even slightly the ego of any living being. May you bless me with such an infinite inner strength in the philosophy of relative pluralism, that is called Syadvad, in thinking, speech, and conduct, as would restrain me from hurting even slightly the ego of any living being. If you can just, if we can just briefly explain this, everyone exists and live by identifying themselves as body, as I am. That is name as I am. Name is given for identity to every individual, and that is where everyone identifies themselves by their name, connecting themselves with the body. And we end up dealing in every relation, we have interaction, worldly interaction with family, with work people, with your surrounding, with your friends. And we are dealing with a living God inside. But people are not aware of that inner God. They believe that and identify themselves by their name. So you have your own ego, and the other person has his own ego. And with that connection, everyone believes and have their own beliefs and live by those beliefs. So when you deal with anyone, you are dealing with a bunch of beliefs. And you have your own beliefs at the same time. So very nicely, Dada Bhagwan has revealed this fact. How will you live with this bunch of beliefs when you have your belief, people have their own beliefs, and you have to deal with them? So he has said, identify, recognize other people's belief, know your own belief. Anyway, you know your beliefs. Accept the other person's belief, adjust to their beliefs, and still remain in the center of your pure self. Again, identify the other person's belief, accept the other person's belief, adjust with the other person's belief so your belief doesn't clash with the other person's belief, and still remain in the center. So while staying in the center, outside, that is temporal, that is interactive, in the world, you interact and live with this adjustment as your center or main focus, then you will not have any problem in all your worldly dealings. Because everyone wants to live by his opinions, his beliefs, or his or her belief. And we have no problem. But with this awareness and with this understanding, we see that our belief don't clash with the other person's belief.
Deepakananji, this word foundation, can you please elaborate on that foundation of any religion? It is
Foundation,
the same as
foundation means
Deepakananji, before we
foundation.
go to before we go to number 2, you're talking about number 1, but now we have everybody's belief, but we have heard many times the two beliefs in the family, husband, wife,
Yes,
beliefs clashing, and then we have heard parents and children, mother and son, mother and daughter clashing. So how do you adjust that viewpoint?
see one thing, like if you are running a business, then you have a bunch of people under you, 10, 15, 20, 200, 2000, whatever is the, depending on the size of your business. And if we just talk about the family business, that is home business, then we have like 3 to 5 people. And if you are not living with harmony, with oneness in the family, it will be a chaos. The reason you spend like 18 hours a day, more or less we can say, 15 to 18 hours a day. Then if you are not living with this adjustment, then you will have so many problems, so much of problems only. And then just imagine what kind of temperament you would be having, what kind of peace of mind you will be having. And imagine everywhere you are, you come across walls. Every home has at least 4 walls. Each room has 4 walls, but it has only one door. But nobody messes around with the wall. They check the door and follow the door, and they get out of the room without hurting themselves.
Yeah, but
In the
Deepakananji,
same,
I want to improve my wife. I want to improve my children. So I have to reinforce my viewpoints from my experience.
That is where we are wrong. The reason is, if you want them to follow your viewpoint, your belief, and you want to reinforce your thing into them, then you must first live by those principles and show the importance that how it is beneficial to you and how you are dealing with them. So first you have to win their heart. And when their heart is won, then they will accept whatever you say. But you just want to command and order them, you must follow this, you must follow that. Maybe when they're small, they may do it, but as they grow with their own intellect growing, their own ego also growing, they will always react, they will always oppose your viewpoint. So the best way is first handle heartily with them, deal with them nicely, amicably, win their heart, and once they are on your side, whatever you tell them, they'll do it.
Good advice.
It is not a simple process, but then it is not impossible also. The reason is it takes a while, but patience is the name of the game, what people say, because nobody can win a gold medal overnight. It's a gradual process, hard work, sincere and what do you say, very time-bound effort.
Yeah, you're
Not
right.
just once in a while you do, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you're right, because patience, I think it's because we want change in others like this, and we don't want to change.
That is right. So it is very important dealing. So once again we come to that wall business in our room, in our home. You never dash with the wall. You see the opening and make your way. In the same way, you don't clash with anybody's viewpoint, but wherever that person has some opening, so you accept his viewpoint, adjust to his viewpoint, and still remain in the center, in the sense your goal of life is spiritual accomplishment, because these interactions have come as karmic account. So you need to settle them. They will end up giving you happiness or suffering, but they are not meant for suffering. They are meant to surpass and learn the lesson of your life, that what was done previously. So you fix all those, come out of all those mistakes, become a perfect person, then you have achieved the spiritual goal.
Very good, Deepakananji. Now, Umeshbhai, your question on Code of Conduct 1, or we can go to code number 2, Umeshbhai?
No, I have an understanding. Swamiji Jai Sachidanand, Swamiji Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
I have an understanding to clear in the similar context in which Swamiji is speaking. So can I ask it now?
Sure, sure.
Okay, thank you. Swamiji, while you were making us understand this, something clicked with me. So I'm just checking my understanding. If any fine-tuning is required, please do that. Apart from flexibility, adaptability, and patience, and all these things, I realized just now that two things are also simultaneously required, which is quite in line with what you are speaking. One is not to work, whether one is in the family or at workplace, from a win-lose paradigm. And two, now this is very difficult most of the times. Two, one should be ready to lose for the sake of the larger gain. It is like you might lose a couple of battles, doesn't matter, but you win the war. So this readiness to lose should be there when there is confrontation of beliefs, the readiness to pull back and then let the other person give some space and time to understand things the way the person wants to understand. Am I correct in my understanding?
I will just further elaborate this. This losing part is like this losing part, the losing aspect, what you said, is not like losing, but it is like for a better or a higher gain.
Yes, very right.
You lose less and gain more.
Yes, you lose less and gain more.
That is the goal, or that is the idea. So finally, your business is on the profit side only.
Yeah.
That's how. If you lose more and gain less, then you are a loser.
Yes. This is the pragmatic side of it.
And the end result is our relation should not break, or the relation should not become strained. The strained relation is going to come back one way or the other. You cannot get away unless it is settled amicably. It will not go away, or it will not settle. You have to settle amicably, and then it is done forever.
So the bottom line is that the relationship should not be compromised at any cost. Am I correct?
Yes. That
is the bottom line. Am I correct?
Right.
Right. Very clear, Swamiji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes.
Okay, so Deepakananji, now
on the second.
We can go on the second one now. I think
Okay.
first one is very nicely cleared up.
Okay, the second one relates. Now, first one was on ego. The second one is on religion. Now, okay, let me read through. O Supreme Self, O Lord, may you bless me with such an infinite inner strength so as not to hurt, neither cause anyone to hurt, nor support someone hurting even to the slightest extent the foundation or viewpoint of any religion or faith. May you bless me with such an infinite inner strength in the philosophy of relative pluralism, Syadvad, in speech, conduct, and thinking, as would restrain me from hurting anyone of religious viewpoint or beliefs. So, foundation, what Dr. Kashyap said, asked rather. So, it is like it is given the viewpoint, the founding principle on which the religion is there, or religion exists, or religion works. The most fundamental and the most common of all is you don't want to hurt anyone. So based on this centralized goal of happiness, basically, so that everyone follows and abide by the tenets of his religion, the goal is you want to be happy. And if you are giving unhappiness, then you cannot get happiness. That is the basic goal of every religion, and rather that is goal of everyone's existence. Everyone is living because of gaining happiness only. That's the goal. And religion plays a vital role. So it is like religion is a guiding line for everyone to live in that particular way based on the religious, the home or the religious family where he is born, and naturally he gets that and understands that religion and follows that religion. So there is nothing wrong in following any religion, whichever religion you are born in. But whether you are born in any of the worldly religion, a bunch of them, it is not important. But because you are born in that religion, naturally you are going to follow that religion. So that is perfect. You follow that religion. Now, no religion is meant to clash with each other. So the idea is we live in such a way that you don't anywhere hurt, even to the slightest extent, foundation or viewpoint of any religion. You can't say that other religion is wrong, because everyone's religion, there is nothing wrong. But when you cross those principles of your religion, that itself where you are going wrong. So if you are following any religion too, and sincerely following those tenets, you will never have any problem. There will not be any problem with other religion, because no religion leaves any space for fighting or differences.
The first and the second agna, they are the conduct are not two different statements said in different same statements said in different ways.
Yes, that's the idea, because it is like the first one is the only one, and it completes everything.
Because this is
But the 2 to 8 is elaboration of the first one only. And when that first one is accomplished or achieved, then you get the benefit of the 10th one. You get the benefit of the 10th one, I mean 9th one, which says you become instrumental for the welfare of the world, in which your welfare is always included.
Because here you see everyone, the belief of ego is ego is also a belief, kind of belief that I am
True,
Kashyap.
very true. So that's why all the rest of the diamonds, they are elaboration of the first one only.
Thank you.
Right. So the second one, in that, with that understanding, you have to accept other people's religion. That is very grosser part. But today everyone wants to claim their religion as number one. But very nicely, the way Dada has explained, every religion is like grade in the school, standard in the school, like how you are in first grade, second grade, fourth grade. No grade is wrong. As you grow in your religion, you go to a higher religion. And that higher religion is not disregarding the lower religion. But because you have accomplished those qualities, so naturally you get higher form of religion. And what is the higher form of religion? That religion which follows non-violence to a higher extent, to a deeper extent, to a wider extent. So finally, you want to become 100% non-violent, wherein your lifestyle, that is your dealing in the world itself, is such that with minimum violence you are living. So that is the idea. So no religion will clash. You understand? This is the idea.
Okay, Umesh bhai, your question.
And one thing, what I would like to say,
Yeah.
these diamonds, they act as a prayer, which acts as you are expressing your resolution, your life resolution. This is what I want to achieve. This is how I want to live my life, not to hurt anybody's ego, not to hurt anybody's religion, religious belief or faith. So when I decide that I will not do this, anytime I cross these boundaries, it will alert me inside and caution me to correct myself or to come back. That is the idea. Like we have decided to remain neat and clean. So every time we go out, we do anything, then you come home and clean up yourself. Every day we take bath. Every day we wear washed clothes. So why? Because we want to remain neat and clean, and the idea is we remain healthy, and you are healthy, you are happy. That's the idea. Okay? JSS Aptputra.
Umesh bhai, you have something?
Yes, Swamiji, I have to validate an understanding. The beginning words, the first two words of this slide are universal projections. So what I want to ask is that ego can only project. So when this ego is making prayers, ego is actually unconditioning and reconditioning itself so that it is purified in the process over a period of time. Am I correct?
Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Swamiji. Very clear.
From negative, violent ego, your ego becomes positive, non-violent ego, and finally it gets eliminated.
And
it
finally,
crosses the positive part also, and you leave the ego aside.
Swamiji, when you say eliminated, does it get really eliminated, or it just gets into a pure form?
No.
It gets eliminated.
It gets eliminated because then it doesn't remain at all.
It doesn't remain at all. Okay.
Till it is there, it is there as negative, then you end up suffering. When it becomes positive, you end up living blissfully. Not really blissfully, with happiness. And when you get totally free from egoism, that is where you enjoy and experience bliss.
So that means process-wise, the negative ego with prayers becomes first a positive and then it eliminates itself. It goes on a self-destruct mode.
Correct. That's true.
Self-destruct mode.
Right.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. Pranam, Swamiji. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand, Rajni ji.
Jai Sachidanand, right? Okay. You want to say some more, Deepakan, or I have a question?
No, if you, see, so we have to surpass the worldly religion in the sense you live and accept and live with total adjustment with everyone, and that's how when you live with that, then you come inside and you live with your body self and your soul self. In the sense, you don't meddle with the body self, that is, what is it called, the relative, because you remain and live as real, in the sense you keep perceiving what the relative does. With the influential, with the inspiration of the universal cosmic power. Because when you are freed from all the vices, what remains is your normal lifespan, which doesn't obstruct your knowledge light. So that finality eventually comes wherein you will live as knowledge, that is absolute, with absolute knowledge vision only. Okay.
Okay. We have about 8-9 minutes, and my question is very simple, but I think we may need a lot of time to do that. But anyway, I'll ask a question, so maybe we can continue next if we run out of time. The key thing is, religious belief, viewpoints or beliefs. Now, religion is, it can be taken as many things, like religion is one which we call, which helps us to grow up in our spirituality, like the religions of the world, But then also we have our own self-religion and our beliefs.
Come again, the last part.
We have also our self-religion and beliefs. So can you
So that is
that
personal beliefs, like we can say, personal likes and dislikes.
Okay.
So that is possible. That is possible. Like you marry with someone, or you have friends who are of the same religion, follow the same religion, but individuals believe they are different, and they naturally differ because of the life background. So many other factors they work. So there should not be any problem if you are married to the same religion person or a religious belief person. But then there are problems because individual beliefs, they differ. There are personal likes and dislikes which needs to be addressed, which needs to be understood, which needs to be accepted, and which needs to be dealt with total adjustment. Then only you will coexist. Otherwise, you are living under the same umbrella, but there is no peace, there is no harmony. There is always a lot of noise that keeps coming.
Yes, you're right. We have very few minutes. Let's take the last question for Umesh.
Okay.
Umesh,
हाँ जी, स्वामी जी, जय सच्चिदानंद. Swami ji,
Jai Satchidanand.
when the ego ends, do projections also simultaneously end?
Projection is because of the ego only. When the ego
Yes.
ends,
Projection
Yes.
also ends.
yes,
So when one stops projecting in life, that is probably an indicator of the ego getting annihilated. Am I correct?
yes, to some extent, yes. But then
To some
it is
extent.
like it is like when you reach that state, that is ego free, or you are freed from ego, then the naturally the projection also stops.
Then what? Then
That zero projection in itself is zero ego state.
zero ego state. Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji. Jai Sachidanand, Swamiji.
Okay,
But-
I think we, Deepika, you to say something or we can.
Yes, 1 minute, just 1 minute. So it is like that ego, like the absolutes, Tirthankara. We feel they have reached the finality,
Ji.
but they say this is not my finality.
Mhm.
We feel absolute knowledge is finality, but no. The finality is to get liberated as pure
Yes,
soul.
Very right. Very right.
So like we say, Namo Arihantanam. So
Ji.
what do they say? What do they have to say? They are already Arihant. They have,
Very right.
they have
Very
freed themselves totally. They are in
Very
absolute knowledge. But no, that body is still there. So what do they contemplate, or who do they worship? Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddha. Okay.
Because that is finality. But we have to contemplate Namo Arihantanam, because unless and until we have his darshan, his one-to-one sight, we don't meet them personally, then that last layer of obstruction cannot get eliminated. For us
Beautiful.
to reach that absolute state of knowledge, that perfection,
Thank
and
you.
open our experience.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. Thank you. I was in a state of bliss, Rajniji.
Today's satsang was
Thank you.
like that too. Anyway, we have a couple of minutes, so I would like Meet, any comment for today's session, and Shital before we close.
Swamiji, thank you so much. Swamiji, Jai Sachidanand. Thank
Jai
you.
Sachidanand. Meet.
Jai Sachidanand. I don't really have any comments, but I really enjoyed today's satsang, and I learned a lot more about the first and second column today.
Yeah, see, that is what we are looking for, something like just, just your thoughts. Very good, Shital.
Jai Sachidanand. Yeah, one thing that struck to me is in the very beginning of the satsang, Deepakananji said, everybody lives by different beliefs. And so first we understand their beliefs, then we accept them, and then we adjust to them. I think we always get into I'm right, they're wrong, but that's not the way to deal.
Still remain in the center.
Still remain in the center. Okay, I forgot that one. Right.
That is important.
Most important.
So,
Yes.
Shital, I'm going to put you on the spot for the next week. See how much you remain in center during the week, you and me. We can talk about it next week.
Okay,
Share your observation.
So remain in the center means what though? Explain to me so that I could
Remain in your pure soul state.
Okay.
So that is your identity, your real identity.
Okay.
And you are managing your relative self, guiding the relative self to understand the other person's belief, to accept the other person's belief, to adjust to the other person's belief, and that's how your relative remains balanced and real remains fasted. Steadfast.
Just like when Nikhil or Keval tells you something, how you feel. That
See,
observation, and when you tell them
Ratnibhai,
their reaction. No,
Ratnibhai, she's an actuarian. So she wants all the parameters to find its place and get a perfect answer. So it will be a good thing.
yeah, that is what let's see what, when they tell you to do something, or you tell them that what is your, where is your center? On the radius or circumferences or in the middle? Okay, and same thing with your interaction with Kush.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, our time is up. So Deepakan, can you do 3 months of meet and Shital can follow me?
Namo Vitragai,
Namo Vitragai,
Namo Varihantanam,
Namo Arihantanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Vajjayanam,
Namo Vajjayanam,
Namo Loe Savva Sahunam,
Namo Loe Savva Sahunam,
Eso Panchanamukkaro,
Eso Panchanamukkaro,
Savvapavappanasano,
Savvapavappanashno,
Mangalanam cha Savvesim,
Mangalanam Chasovesim,
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.